Hi everybody, I'm Kaur with Be the Lighthouse, and today we're going to read a little bit of one of my other books, Journey Through Sikhism. It's a really funny, really fun story. It starts out, it's very much a comedy. It's a complete fish out of water story. Our main character, Lucy, has no clue about yoga even, let alone, Sikhism or anything. So Kaur, when she hears Kaur, she's thinking CAR. So she thinks Solstice is the secret auto workers convention anyway. So then the story very much transforms. It becomes very powerful. But anyway, let's read a little bit of it. It's very much in journal form. So it's every day. It's her adventures. Day 1, June 19th. So I'm in the store, right? And there's this crazy lady dressed from head to toe in white, including this giant sheet that covers her entire head, except for her eyes and face, with this weird pin thing on her forehead that she obviously uses to contact the mothership. Oh, and did I mention she's wearing some kind of sword on her hip? At first, I thought she'd escaped from a cosplay convention, but I'm getting sidetracked because she instantly began hugging the stuffing out of me, claiming I was her long-lost friend whose name I cannot even begin to pronounce. I had been quietly minding my own business looking at the orange juice when this assault began, because that is the only way I can describe it. She was calling me something Kaur. That was the only part I could make out, but it was undeniable that one, this lady was completely insane, needed her medication, and that two, she thought I was her long-lost friend from the auto plant. The person in question had obviously changed their name and moved to Guam to escape the queen of the land of the hug people. Okay, so I had walked into Whole Foods in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which evidently is the home of the aliens this lady is likely the leader of, because her minions soon followed, and I was again hugged into submission by many other friends whom I had never met before. I'm not from Santa Fe. I was actually hitchhiking across country to LA to spend the summer with my cousin. I do web work, sell jewelry, and work in IT. Finances being what they are, my cousin Judy said, "Lucy, why don't you come out for a while?" Judy being Judy, this meant her finances were in a deficit and I was left to my own devices to get there. I had no money for rent, very little for food, no place to stay back in Virginia, and I thought, I'll do a travel log on my website. Could be fun, right? Thus, I set out with the entirety of my life's possessions upon my back. A tiny tent, my phone, power cord, some meal bars, food packs, one change of Insta drip-dry clothes, my boot shoes, my Oakley's, knife, flashlight, no batteries, basic feminine products, comb, wide-brimmed hat, $23 cash, 12 nickels, my maxed-out credit cards, my in-debt debit card, lip balm, sunscreen, a pack of hair ties, one bottle each of body wash, shampoo, conditioner, and as many sandwiches as my friend from the bakery dared to give me. Oh, I forgot my water bottle, toothbrush, vitamins, dental floss, and a tiny sample bottle of mouthwash that I had liberated from a dentist's office. I just walked in and asked a few questions, and they gave me all kinds of samples. I stuffed more into my pockets when they weren't looking. Oh, and my baby laptop and the power cord for it, but that's it. I took a picture and put it on my website if you would like to see it all. I had set up a support the hike drive link on my website, and I just had a big payday, $12 in my PayPal account. I was out of deodorant, but at $4.69 for something that only barely worked, that was out of the question, as were more razor blades or shaving cream. And I have very little body hair, so I didn't care anyway. Being blonde and thin, men don't really care what you smell like as long as you smile at them, so I was after food. Well, that, and I ducked in to use the restroom. I'd had more than enough of nasty truck stop restrooms, though a washcloth and drip drying in a bathroom at a rest area and then washing my hair in a sink was obviously less than ideal, to say the least. The crowd soon grew into a number of auto workers. I decided they worked at a Ford plant, though they never specified a make or model of car. Someone must be a musician because I kept hearing sing, but the context made no sense. I decided they were on their way to a live concert, ergo the reason for their mass escape from the funny farm. But, most importantly, I was their long-lost friend. As I was their long-lost friend, Ford, they wanted to buy me lunch. Now, I didn't have a clue who a single one of these people were, and I am not in the least bit ashamed to mention I immediately fell into the role. They refused to believe I was anyone other than their long-lost friend, Ford, and I had surrendered to the role. I had explained my circumstances, and they decided I had hiked cross-country to join them in the mountains. I just didn't mention the part about LA, figuring I would enjoy the free lunch and have a great story to post on my website. I might even get $13 after this story. Much to my delight, and quite possibly given my disheveled appearance, they let me order anything I liked, even a drink and dessert, and insisted it was the least they could do for their sister. They were all so happy to see me. Wow, tears welled up in my eyes at that thought. I was the only one who knew I wasn't their friend. The original hugger lady had convinced the other 5 I really was their friend they had not seen in 15 years, and the rest of them all ran with it. Sister, wow. I've lived alone, slept in doorways, parks, and even took a job waiting tables just to be able to crash in the storeroom. I didn't know these people from Adam, but they thought they knew me and readily accepted me. So you're headed up the hill, right? One of them asked. I decided to call her Toyota, as they were all named after some make of car I had somehow never heard of. On the road, you learn a thing or two about cars, particularly which ones not to get into. You know those people that ask for a knife and someone pulls out this tiny little thing? Well, I do my best Mick Dundee voice and say, that's not a knife. It's legal size, barely, but it's nothing compared to the giant swords these people carry. Oh, but it's nothing compared to the giant things these people carry, several of which are bordering on swords. So I had to make a call up the hill with the sword-toting autoworkers, or I took several deep breaths, showing where the road led. New Mexico, Arizona, and California. It was mid-June, far from the ideal time of year for such a trek. My canteen was full. Did I take the road or follow these people who had bought out every white sale ever to who knows where? Well, I began cautiously. I have no money, as I had no clue what these people were talking about, let alone what I was getting myself into. Chevy was quick to jump in. This friend of mine always pays someone to sleep at their table in the bazaar. Let me see if she has somebody. Several excited texts later, she announced, you're in. What? I asked. She explained, you can use that to pay for your registration. Now, I had no clue how much any of this was going to cost, but it sounded expensive. Wow, thank you, and thank your friend for me, please. Chevy nodded. In full-fledged mother mode now, she pointed to Audi seated next to her. I named her Audi because she has a slight German accent, adding a hard R to words that have no R in them, like wash, which she enunciated warsh. Audi said, I have one service scholar position open on my team, it's yours. I'll pay the difference on your registration, and then you pay me back after you get paid. Sound good? All the assembled automobiles nodded in unison. Now that it appeared I most certainly would be joining them, and who was I to say no to such kindness? Maybe, just maybe. No, I took several deep breaths. I was an only child, orphaned at a young age, lived on the streets. I'd been tall for my age. I was working full-time by 13. Door greeter, local deliveries for the bakery, paper route. I recycled cans, picked up coins in parking lots, sat in wireless cafes with a signal on the table, advertising, web work / anything I could do. People would feel sorry for me and give me things. I sold it all. If it didn't fit in that backpack, I did not need it. Stuff is what tied you down. I had worked at a movie theater just to be able to watch movies. I lost track of how many jobs I'd had, and in fact, I chronicled it all on my website, which then helped me sell jewelry and get IT work. Mostly I build websites, but I love to write about places I go and the people I meet there. I could spend days writing about these autoworkers. What if there were more of them up the hill? This would make a great story. This is all of my gear. I'm ready to go, I said, nodding, having not the slightest clue what the autoworkers did, quote, up the hill, other than a cosplay convention that somehow involved singing. It also became apparent that white was not mandatory, nor were the costumes, as they readily accepted me attired as I was, or, maybe it was expected to blend in with the local color, as it were, at said autoworkers' secret convention, which just so happened to be not that far from Roswell. It was, however, also entirely possible that there were no aliens involved, or even that they had purchased all of said items / costumes / white, leaving me with no clue what was going on, other than I was now getting into a fully packed van with a group of people I had only just met, thereby violating the most basic rule any good parent would teach their child. Well, mine had up and died on me, so whatever. So we drove to the point where that if you kept going, you fell off the edge of the earth, and then we kept going. Hitchhiking mainly consists of a lot of hiking. I've been in some pretty remote locations, but this place takes the cake. Oh, what I would give for some cake right about now. I couldn't tell you when my last shower had been, but what I do know is the more austere the conditions, the greater my own personal hardship, the more contributions my website takes in, and at this point I was up for anything. Sometimes I think I have an Aunt Matilda in Hoboken who takes pity on me and rallies our imaginary family to my website, causing massive amounts of money, like $12, to come my way. I once went 3 days without eating. Hard times, to say the least, and I paid the price for it. I'm very thin now, and yes, I learned that vitamins are more important than deodorant. These auto workers had not cared how disheveled or dirty I was. It was obviously par for the course, given my trek. I think we'll stop there. Please let me know if you enjoyed that or if you'd like to hear more of that, and I'll leave a link in the description below where you can order signed copies on my website. Thank you. You'll have a great day.